right, welcome back to Dr. Pamela Y. Smith. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to be here to help you in this entrepreneur world and having great business success. Now, this particular talk, I wanted to talk about managing of property, because we were on the conversation about real estate, the type of real estate. And I just wanted to do a little quick talk about how to be successful in real estate. Has a lot to do with how you manage the real estate. And that comes with how you manage your tenants. So let's talk about that for a minute. When you go into real estate, you have to understand it's still business. It is a business, okay? And when you go in to real estate and you want to be the owner of these particular real estates, you have to see yourself as a manager, because this is business. The number one thing you should never do is let a person know that you own that business. You are the manager of the business. You're the manager of that property. You're the manager of the location. You are a manager, because this is business. No one needs to know you're the owner. Put your ego aside. Don't be trying to impress anyone. That is not what you want to do, because the thing about people that occupy your property and they know that you are the owner, they use things to feed your emotions to get what they want. And that's why you don't want to put yourself in a situation that they believe you have more than them. And because of that, you should feel sorry for me. Okay? So this is why I wanted to have this quick talk about managing your properties and making sure that it is a business that you're managing. Okay? So thank you for joining me and following me and subscribing. Again, in the link in the description, I'll put more information about things that's going to help you within your business. Okay? Now, let's talk about the different things and the principle of it. The whole thing about managing as a business is your key is to keep people occupied there for years. And I mean years, until they're ready to buy a home. You want people to stay in your property so long, you forget they in there. And the way I'm going to tell you some ideas that's going to help you also is going to help you what you're doing for them, help them stay as a tenant or occupy your property for a long time. Okay? Number one, you must have a contract with anybody that you allow on your property as a tenant or as a leasee of the business. They must have a contract. That contract must have all the things that they can and cannot do on your property. I recommend that you get contracts that based on your state law, and it's easy to find. So like if you're renting a resident, all states have a law, lead loss, we would call a law of a lease, meaning that state already have the basic lease written that you have to follow, that there's laws within that gives the tenant right and give you right. So it is best to make sure that you get the contracts from your state, okay? Now, you do that because anytime you do verbal agreements with someone, it's always going to be your word against their word. That's not what she said. They said that, and they said they would do this, and they would do that. No, Always have it in writing when they're moving in, the date they're moving in, what it costs to move in, all that. Always make sure that you have that in writing, because contract is going to involve exchange of funds. And it's so important that you make sure, because of that, it is stated. It also is going to state when they can move in. It's going to state how long they can be in. It's going to state when they must pay you. And then it will also state when they're late. So those things are very, very important to have in that contract. And that's why you must have a contract or lease or agreement with the person that's going to occupy your property. Okay? That is so important. Okay? So we're to the main managing. We want to make sure you're doing it as a business. You want to make sure that you have an agreement and a contract with that person. Now, before any of that takes place, you must always get an application. Get some form of information on the person that's going to occupy your property. Get an application, and that application needs to have the information. And this is why, very important information. This is why I say go online to your state, because all states have their own lease, even the application that they recommend that you give to an occupant or a tenant for residential or for commercial. Okay? So make sure you do that. These are basic principles you must follow. Again, number one basic principle, you are in business, and because you're in business, that is your business when it comes to real estate. Number two, you're managing all your real estate, from commercial, from residential. You are the manager of your property. No one knows you are the owner of the property. You are strictly a manager. And why no one knows you own it? Because your property is supposed to be in a trust. Now, if you need help with a trust, you'll see the link in the description below. My team, we offer people trust that have to do with assets. But if you need trust for your properties, just only in Georgia, my team can help you get your properties in land trust. But in the other state, I don't have attorney in other states. You can leave me a message and I can try to see how my attorney or team can find people within your state. But you want to have your properties in land trust, because you don't want to leave yourself open. Okay? And you do that because you want them to not cause you harm. You're going to have insurance policies on your properties, right? You already know you have that. But people will quickly fall, break their neck, twist their leg, do something stupid on your property and want to sue you. No property is to be in your name. Zero property is to be in your name. All your property must be in a trust. Land trust, okay? So if you need any help with that or have any questions, it's in the link in the description. Please reach out and I'll help you as much as I can. The other thing, you must have applications on people that you are going to allow to occupy your property, that you are going to allow to rent your home. You must have an application on that person, okay? The fourth thing is you must have a contract with any individual that you allow to reside or be a tenant of in a commercial property. You must have a contract, a lease agreement, some type of contract or lease agreement, okay? So those are the main basic simple principles to managing your property in the beginning the right way. I'm going to do a part 2 and I'm going to go into what of that managing causes them to stay longer. What is the steps that you're doing that help them to stay longer. So I'll do that on my next talk. I want to talk about how they stay longer, because they will stay longer. I'm going to give you some tips and ideas on that. So thank you for being with Dr. Pamela. We'll be back, and I'll be back giving you how to keep them in your house, on your property for years.